Hello. Welcome to a quick tutorial on how to set up some triggers in S&box. If you were watching the last tutorial, you might have been wondering how I was able to set it up so when the player walked in these different colliders, it triggers something. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'll also show you how to detect bump collisions, non-trigger colliders. It's really quick and easy, so let's just jump into it. So first, I have this hurt and this heal cube, and both of these are going to be triggers. So on their box collider, I have it set to true for each trigger on both of these guys. And I'm just going to go ahead and add a new component, and I'm going to call it the heal trigger component. Put that in our code folder. And simply all we want to do, let me just make sure I have the solution open. So we just want to make sure our component extends component.ITriggerListener. And you see there's also ICollisionListener to get bumps instead of entering a trigger. So you'll see if I hit F12 on this, there's an on trigger enter and an on trigger exit. Both of them take a collider. So very simply, all we need to do is public void on trigger enter. And now we've implemented this interface here, and we can just put our code into either one of these, and it should just run properly. So here I can say log.info other, and I'll say log.info other in the exit. And if I run the game, we look at the console at the bottom. I walk inside. It prints the capsule collider that's on our player. And when I leave, it also prints it. So I want to set these up to actually heal the player and then do some damage. So I probably don't need to explain how to do that, but I might as well show it for the sake of the video. Property, public float, maybe just float amount. 10f, and then if other.components, I'll do var player equals other.components.get. If the thing that we're touching has a player controller script on it, then we will say plus equals amount. We don't need anything on our trigger exit here. I'll just make sure the health is clamped here. So now if I go ahead and add the heal trigger here as well, I can have this guy take 10 health. This guy gives 10 health. And now, there you go. It does exactly that when you enter the trigger. All right, so now let's set up these coins so that they all have a coin component. And I'm going to make sure they're all set to isTrigger because you want to walk into a coin to collect it. And I'll just do the exact same thing here. Now you can see I'm doing the exact same thing when you enter the trigger, add a coin, and it's going to delete the object. And now it does exactly that. Very easy stuff. So now to test the bump collision, I'm going to make this little platform here. And I'm going to call this bouncy platform. This guy is going to implement our component.ICollisionListener. If we hit F12 on this guy, we can see what he needs. And I'm just going to copy paste it to make my life a little bit easier. Do that, do this, and then all of these need to be public, I believe. And then also, there we go. So now we can log all of these guys. And you'll see that when we launch in here, it doesn't work immediately. And the reason why is because our collider that it's checking for doesn't have a rigid body. It won't check a collision on something unless it has a rigid body. So we're going to go into our player here, add a rigid body. And because we're already setting our player's position and velocity and all that through the character controller component, let me move my guy out the way here. We're not going to want to let the rigid body control any of this movement. So I'm going to disable gravity and lock everything on the rigid body. So the rigid body is not going to have any control over our object. It's going to be entirely done through the character controller, but we still now have the rigid body. So you can see when I start a collision and stop a collision, I get events for both of those. And I can see what myself is and what the other collider is. So we can say on collision start, we're going to get a character controller, but we don't want other.components. We want other.gameObject.components. I don't think we want to just set the velocity directly. I think we want .punch. I'm going to bounciness. Put that in a property. Now go to our little bouncy guy here. Give it like a 500. Look at that. Now we're bouncing on this lovely little platform. So that's how to set up triggers, collision checks, all that fun stuff. You can see the other extendable, implementable rather, interfaces just by doing component dot in this little section here. You can see there's tintable items, network spawnable, things that listen to the network. So if you want to hook into all these sorts of cool functions, that's what these are here for. So hopefully this was an informative, quick video. My eyebrows will be back next time. Thank you.